how you feel the day's going, and what you feel what the guys could take away with them today.
Well, it's great, always great to have so many men giving up a day like a Saturday to come and basically hang out with other men and learn about God. I mean, that's brilliant, isn't it?
Yeah.
So our hope is that every man will leave here today with their lives infused with a little bit more faith, a little bit more hope, a little bit more love, and go away thinking and feeling, hey, I feel richer today because my heart's been touched, my mind's been stimulated, and it'll make a difference to my life. That's the hope, isn't it?
That's the hope, yeah. Do you feel that what the guys could take away with them today will they could use from throughout the week, from Monday to Saturday, including Sunday when most of them go to church?
Totally, because obviously, we all believe that a day like this or a Sunday in church, we often say is sacred, but actually the whole of the week is sacred. So hopefully what's been imparted is going to make a difference in whatever they do. Family, life, work, leisure, that's our hope really, that we're just encouraging them on the journey. Because we're all on the journey, and the journey, there are potholes and ups and downs, and then hopefully it's just giving them a little bit more encouragement. Say, hey, I want to be all that God wants me to be.
For me, I believe that God placed a vision on my heart for men's ministry 4 years ago, and for me it was about reaching guys in the church first, because I believe passionately that men are just treading water in churches. They've either been in church for a long time, or they just come along with their wife or something. And I just think that how do we change men's attitudes? How do we give them a sense of identity and purpose within the church? Because I think that we would agree that the church is a female, kind of really got a female feel to it, and very, very difficult for a guy just to walk into a church.
I know. I mean, it is difficult, really. But I think that men are actually quite hungry, and I think men like to be challenged, and they like to be inspired. So I think the opportunity that you've provided to have this day today, and of course you're going to have an annual day like this, is a great opportunity to kind of, I suppose like a triple espresso experience, isn't it?
Yeah.
To kind of affirm them, but also to challenge them, not to be just consumers and to be quite complacent, but to see that within the church today they have a role, but if they don't get on with it, then they're just going to become stagnant, and maybe a lot of men are not getting on with it, hence the fact there is this kind of feeling that there's stagnation in the church today.
Yeah. You kind of answered my last question really in some ways. So you do believe that there is a role for organisations like ourselves to operate and to put on conferences that are purely for men?
Yeah, I totally.
To encourage them.
Yeah, definitely. I'm a great believer in ministry to men and women, and of course, women's conferences. And I speak at women's conferences as well. But I also think there's a great place for men's conferences, and particularly a day like this on a Saturday is it's excellent, really. And I think if you persevere with what you've birthed, you can see this growing, both numerically and also spiritually, as people's lives kind of, yeah. I suppose for men, with their issues, with their concerns, with all that troubles them, if over a period of several years you're dealing with all of these issues, then it can only be good. So I, pray God's blessing on your endeavours, and pray that it gets richer, and you see men become more like the men God created them
Yeah.
to be, and therefore that's going to be great both for their families and both for the church.
That's great. Thank you. And thank you for coming
Thank
today.
you.
It's been brilliant.
Thanks very much.
Thank you.